Hmm. My friends, how are yous? I just came to this park here, to be honest. Just thinking about this place because apparently what happened. I've been coming here a few times, or I've been coming here this past couple of months, if I could say. But if I ever was remembering, there was some specific times. But for some reason, I just had a dream, and that which I must say, the dream that I had, I mean, like in my sleep, I was somewhere else, and I just remember this place, and for some reason, I just had the sound of the storm. To be honest, like I mean, wow, like big, powerful sound. Wow, like I mean, and like it just for some reason it was just me alone, and I just heard a sound of a thunderstorm. And my eyes began to flash, man. What in the world? And it's like for some reason I want to say, God, are you mad at me? Or what do you want from me? But yeah, what can I say? Let me just share some time with you people right now. And it's just almost nighttime, which is dinner time, you know what I mean? So hello to you, everyone. Hello there, people of Sydney. Uh, you know, um, if I ever was speaking about some issues that I was having. If I ever was talking, speaking of police specifically, I just want you to know I show no hate towards any police officers. Just there, like, I mean, I may sometimes say something which I may be misunderstood, but I really don't have an issue. But I had to be aware. To be honest, I had to be aware of some people who wanted to, like, do something which were very secretive, which they wanted to inform, and they wanted to, keep um how can I say, keep advising some other police officer, because I'm talking about those that are like specifically known for their secret position. But hello there. Let me just salute you, Stuart. Yes, sir. Believe me when I say this. But with others, I don't even get to focus on any of those other issues. And it doesn't matter whatever that could be happening behind my back. I'm not really worried. But I must say that I was in the struggle, which I ended up being homeless as well. And being homeless, it's a struggle. Also a struggle to eat. Like I mean, not just like I mean struggle to eat, like eating anything. No, 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 no. To eat what should be considered food, which it does help you, food that is healthy. So I may sometimes want to say this to those who struggle out there. I also want to remind you that if you could just cook your own food, you can do that. But you have to be careful. And I'm talking about guys specifically. Guys like in my age, which are capable of doing something, and with careful instructions. Like you don't have to do something when you're out there, and you don't want to like cause some problem which it will leave you regretful. I don't want to say something like that, but if you're ever struggling out there, I'll say peace and love from God Almighty. And if I could say, even to some of those ladies who may be struggling out there, to some of those, I would say also who are capable of doing something like that. There are some who can do much more than from what I could just say right now. But I also want to advise some people you shouldn't, seek guidance sometimes and like read the instruction label sometimes, and so that way you are very careful of what you're doing, and also safe in a safe manner also what you operating or what you're doing sometimes. And sometimes I would say, like, even for those struggling, lonely mothers with some people whom they probably have, they must have stayed, struggling also in this kind of situation where they had to, rely on some sort of support from their community, from their people. Like, I mean, don't worry, don't struggle, don't worry. God cares about each one of you deeply. And I must say that if I'm ever in this struggle, I kind of have to experience this as well, so that way I can understand other people's point of view. But believe me, there are some things which I shouldn't even have to go through. But I must say that if we ever out here living our life, which I don't, let me just tell you something. Like, speaking about, like, throughout my childhood and the way I was especially when I was a young teen. I mean, like, in my prime, like, I mean, that life that I once lived and how I was taught to live, and the way I maybe still remember some issues. And as I was trying to explain myself earlier, if I've ever left some recording, which I do leave those recording because it's part of my everyday life. Those recording are not just here sitting in front of a camera, but it will be part of my life story that if I ever wanted to share, and if I ever wanted to remind some people. And with some people, even though if I'm ever having some issues with some people, just remember me always with love, with kindness. But you did something you shouldn't do, and don't, like, I mean, don't, how can I say, don't blame me from whatever I'm saying or whatever I'm doing. If I'm ever doing something, which sometimes there are people who can take it much more higher level than from what I'm right now saying. But there are some people who are keen, some people who must have felt regretful. I'm sorry, I do care about you. I do, sometimes have some concern, which I wish that you could just heal from your own trauma, from that struggle that you were ever in. Because if you ever went through that kind of struggle, I understand we were all in this together. But there are some people who didn't have to struggle in anything, in whatsoever. And I'm not mad just because you didn't struggle. I'm not mad at anyone. I was happy with whatever I was doing, but for some reason, I found out that there was something which it did concern me, which it was leaving me, like, with bad feeling, which it does sometimes have an impact upon the entire mind, which is leading down into the entire body, which is your nervous system. And that lifestyle which I was once living, I'm uncertain for with some people. But don't worry, things can shift, things can change, things can turn around for me and for any one of you out there. But just remember that if I ever was there among you, like, I'm not this kind of guy whom you probably think that you can understand. It was in no one's hand. I must say that if I ever was the young when I couldn't do anything about it. But as I was growing and the path that I've chosen, I even chose to live this way. The way which I must say I'm still working some things out, which I must say that it's been this ongoing battle between me and certain, I swear to God, if I can, certain legions, which they do their hierarchy, people who are very known for their position. I'm talking about, I'm talking about some wizards and warlocks who definitely trying to, run the town, which they do operate secretly. But you, trust me, you approaching fire almost. And I must say this, if I ever reminded some of those who lived nearby where I was staying in that area, remember when I said it, you cannot approach fire unless you are water. And if you are water, just remember that I'm the storm. Okay, so what we're gonna do, I'm gonna show you right now a simple dish, a dish that you can prepare on your own. A dish where it does include some some yummy stuff, it's not very expensive, but it's not even cheap as well. But you should be able to get that on your own, and I'm telling you, you also have more than from what I have, to be honest. And being with almost nothing, it's like disgrace, to be honest. Like, it's a shame among my people that I once knew and who they were and how they were trying to, make me feel low, like trying to make it sound like that I'm at a low level in life and how it was, because I get to be told off by some people for not being good at this, not having this, not having that, which it didn't matter to me at all. But I must say that I have to keep always this thing in mind. Like, you wanted to, like, basically show what you got, and that which what you wanted me to feel is regretful or feel guilty or feel ashamed, because the way I chose to live how I was happy with whatever I got, but for some reason God brought this to my attention. So with all these things that these people thought that they could have, I mean, you could probably say that you got this, you got that, but you have no idea how you're gonna solve most of your problems. You know, you could just throw a little bit of money here and there. You may be knowing someone and some other partners that you must have probably joined hand in hand together and carrying on with some secret, how can I say it, secret work, which it does lead you all to that kind of gathering, which that meeting, and it's got to do with the streets, the life, which we wanted to entertain some people by trying to get them engaged in that kind of, you know, activity, which it does keep you reminded of how to get some people high and get them all there, get them all partying up and all having fun, all dancing, all losing the plot, losing their money until they end up fun with. I mean, you should consider this and take this matter seriously, because you probably must be far from such issues, but you could also find yourself in the midst of this chaos, believe me. But yeah, y'all shall know me, and you know me. What you know me, homie, let me tell you this. It's just one guy, a person who's still reminding yourself what could go wrong, or what could be bad. But know that God is good, and God knows what is good, remember, for each one of us. So allow me to share this much time with you, and as I was trying to explain to you the dish that I'm going to show you, to that you could just, you know, enjoy for the moment, for the time being, until everybody's gone, and so that way you could just see maybe once again the light shining. Remember, as long as the light shines, there's still hope. Okay, what we're gonna do, we hold the plate like this. I don't know if you can see me, but yeah. Rise. You must heed this as well, so don't forget to do that. Alright, my friends, my beloved family, my fellow men, my relatives, my people of Sydney, where we grew up and where we live. We shared time together, we sat down, we ate together, you know. We were there. They had no drama, no issue, but sometimes you must experience all that as well, just as I did and how I was. But thank God I'm still here. I don't know, for some reason. Maybe people were feeling sorry for me, but now you must consider this. What you did to me, I forgive you, but someone said to me, someone said something to me. He said, I remember when we used to, like, one of the guys said, don't worry, name, I'll forgive you, but I'll never forget you. Yeah, well, that's good, but don't worry, it can be good at that moment if you don't forget me. And also, speaking about police, I remember some of the police officers, they once said some things to me. I'll be honest with you, I would say they don't even remember. They probably wouldn't even have no idea of who I'm talking about. But I was at a location at one time back in those days, and I was with some guys, and some guys are very You know, they're very well known. I'm not talking about anyone else here. But I remember for some reason they just like the way they spoke to me. It made me feel very sad because I was some guys and I knew I could say I may have probably knew some guys, but they mentioned something to me. They said, you know, if you hang around with dogs, you will catch the fleas. So that which I still remember, and it happened twice. Not happened twice at that very moment. No, it happened time and later. I remember I used to be with someone as like I used to be with this girl whom I once thought that I could just help her in some ways, or if I could just be there for her when she wanted someone to, you know, because she was also in this, which she made it sound like she was in this kind of struggle, which a girl who's very, like, I mean, like, if I could say, she was very organized, but she made it sound like as if she was in this kind of struggle. Because she's not the one who she would definitely lead anyone. Although she's got her parents behind her, she's got people who also has been their support. Or who's been, you know. But I would say that if there was ever time, and I remember getting arrested, I got arrested, and I remember even at that time, but when they mentioned, but they said something to me, someone said someone said similar to what I was just now saying. But they had no idea. They had in a different perspective when they said that to me. They said that to me because it was basically all well organized. You know, I remember losing my driver's license, not driving for years. And where were all those friends? Where were all those people I used to be there for them when they wanted me, and I'd just be their driver sometimes and trying to take him here and there? You know, like, I mean, come on, think about this. You remember those years? Remember how it was back in those days? I remember each one of you? Now he's done. He's just thought that you could just, you know, get rid of me in secret and just, you know, forget about this guy. But all of a sudden it came out, boom, right in front of you. So yeah, they said that to me again. Doesn't matter. It's all good. What we kind of do, what we want to do, let's just enjoy the moment. Because we could be here today and tomorrow we could be gone. But yeah, so, well, I got no spoon apparently, so I'm gonna just use one of those, you know, wooden fork. So let's break the rice, make sure that it's soft and nice. Oh yeah, wait, also, let me get some of those. Oh, okay, I may probably need some beans as well, and some chicken as well. So what we do? Get this. And some salad as well. Don't forget, you need salad with rice, yeah? You definitely need that. Okay. We're gonna have to do this for now. Everyone, it should help you. Thank you, everyone. Take care.